Alright, so when you're doing parallel just means that it has the same slope, right? So that 1/3 here with my slope, that means that in the new equation I'm still going to have the exact same slope, right? It's going to look like this in the new equation. I know that much isn't going to change, but I know what's going to change is this. This point here tells me that it's going to go through a different point. Right? Now to figure out that point, this equation already tells me a lot, but I need to figure out how much do I add or subtract to it. That's all it's telling me. So I know y is 1, right? I know that I'm going to multiply 1/3 times the x, and I know the x is -3. You get me up to here?
Yes, I think so.
You sure? Well, all I'm going to do is figure out what do I add or subtract to that to make this work. So what's 1/3 of that?
1/3 times 3.
Well, just remember we multiply the top times the whole. So this is the same as -3/3. Right? So what's -3/3 the same as? -1. So -1 is what I have, but I have to get to +1. So how much do I have to add to it?
0.
Not 0.
1.
So I've got this here. To get rid of this -1, I would just add 1, right? So I'd add 1 here. So that leaves me with 2 is equal to the missing number, all right, which is the y-intercept, right? Because remember our form of an equation, y equals mx plus b? We knew m already because the slope is m. So I took the slope, I plugged it in for m, and I had to figure out b. So we did that. So my final equation is y is 1/3 x plus 2.
So that's your answer?
So that'd be your answer for this
It'll
one.
be that. It was that the whole time.
So the slope never changed. Now, this just happened to be that this actually makes it go through the exact same equation. Right? That just happened to be like that, this problem. Now, let's look at number 7, though, because number 7 may not be like that. Right? Number 7's a little different.
Can I write this down real quick?
So same thing on this one, but this one we've got to get y by itself because y isn't by itself now. Right? So what would I do to get, we want to have just that y left, so what do I move away?
Subtract 2x to the other
Subtract
side.
the 2x, good. So subtract 2x. So I'm left with -7y is -2x plus 12.
And then would you divide 7?
Good, divide by -7. So you're left with y is +2/7 x minus 12/7. Yes, sir, make it quick. So there's our equation that we have right now. Right? But it tells us that it has to go through this point. Right? Now it's parallel, so that means this 2/7 doesn't change. So I know my final answer. When it comes to my final answer, I know that it's going to be y equals 2/7 x. We know that much for sure, but we don't know what we're adding to it. Right? We don't know what that is. That's what we've got to figure out. So we'll do the same thing. Simply take the 4, that is the x, right? Take the -3, that's your y. There, sorry. I don't want that one. Because we're trying to figure out what am I adding to this, right? We're figuring out what is the y-intercept. Alright, so we're just going to solve this now. 2/7 times 4, and you can use your calculator if you need to, but you're just multiplying the top there.
Oh, so it'd be like 8 over...
So that'd be 8/7, right? Plus whatever b is. So since this is a +8/7, what do I have to...
subtract.
I'll subtract 8/7. Good. So your b is equal to, and since I subtracted here, make sure you subtract it over here also. Alright. And it's just minus 8/7. You had minus a negative, so you really added 8/7. We just subtracted the whole 8/7. So since you put minus, you don't put the negative in there with it.
Okay, so it would just be a positive.
There you go. And now press, there you go. So negative 29/7 would be your b. And that's all you're doing at all of these. It's all the same way. Now this one had more fractions probably than the other ones do. But that gives you that negative 29/7. So that's what I plug in here. So negative 29/7. Now you're done. And that's your equation. Does that help?
A little bit.